Coming up on MHS1.
We get more informed about this weekend's local election.
We turn the page and check out the neighborhood library.
We look into the creative talent of our theater seniors. And we're coming to you from a new set here in F116.
And that's all coming up on MHS1.
Good morning, McKinney High School. Today's Friday, May 5th. I'm Alec Delgado.
And I'm Lexi Villarreal, and you're watching MHS1.
The mayor of our town plays a significant role in the way we live each day. Nick Limbo, Andrew Watson, and Amy Nguyen give us a scoop.
McKinney is coming up on its next mayoral election. Although 2 of the 3 candidates were not available for comment, one candidate voiced his reasoning for joining the race.
My priorities and goals for the office of mayor is to bring leadership to the city. We are at a critical point in McKinney's history. We are finishing our comprehensive 2040 plan and rewriting our zoning and ordinances, and these are the documents and the blueprint for McKinney and where McKinney will be. I chose to run this year a number of reasons. We are really architecting and designing the future of our community, exactly what it will look like as we grow to maybe 400,000 people. The youth that I've seen so far and the engagement, as I said earlier, has been just tremendously uplifting and encouraging, and I've said to many of those youth that I have a lot of faith in them, more faith, quite frankly, than our generation, and I encourage all the youth as they get engaged in politics. It's great to have values and partisan values, that's fine, but finding common ground is far more important than finding divisive ground.
Some students have taken it upon themselves to vote in this upcoming election.
So for this election, I decided to vote simply because it's the first year that I can vote for mayor. I did vote for the presidential election, so I felt it'd be fitting to vote for McKinney's mayor election, especially since it affects me more directly. The reason I voted for my candidate was he filled my political views better than any other candidate, in my opinion. When you vote for something that you feel strongly about, or even just a little bit, like, hey, why not? Like, take 10, 15 minutes out of my day to vote. You get a feeling like, hey, I did something good, like something's gonna happen now.
Deadline for voting is May the 6th. This has been Amy Nguyen, Andrew Watson, and Nick Limbo reporting for MHS1.
Jonah Ott and Allison Duran take a look at the process of McKinney High School drug testing.
Many students have stories about getting drug tested, most of whom have complaints about the process.
In my econ class in the month, I think of February, I got called like 3 times in that same month for drug testing. And I found it was really annoying. The process isn't hard. The process doesn't annoy me. It's the fact that I got called out of my class and I missed, important information.
That is the unfortunate thing about this. We have to pull the students out of class, and they have to be under our supervision. If we find out that, oh yeah, I remember the student being pulled out again, we'll try to we'll look and see what period they were selected, and we'll try to get them the next time.
Mr. Wales, who's in charge of drug testing, explains how the system works.
We contact all the coaches and all the sponsors, and we ask them to send us a roster of all their students. That roster then is sent to the Pinnacle Drug Testing Company to perform all of the student drug tests. It is selected on the same number of boys as the same number of girls, and it is selected based on not a student's name, but a student's ID number, their grade, and if they were a male or a female.
As far as the selection goes, I feel like it is random, but that randomness needs to be kind of monitored. So I don't think it should be a purely random system if it is. And if it isn't, I do wonder who's reporting me or whatever.
The reasoning behind these strange occurrences might surprise you.
You actually don't want it prevented. The reason is you don't want to get in any type of a rhythm that anybody, adults, the testers, the students can figure out. You want it to be known that, hey, I got tested one week, I might get tested again the very next week. It is not a witch hunt, and today's day and age, and you hear about the deaths and the addictions and things like that, it's done to keep you as a student safe and secure.
With countless complaints about the system stacking up, the administration still believes that Pinnacle is the best way to do drug testing. This has been Jonah Ott and Allison Duran reporting for MHS1.
People from across McKinney take part in a beneficial charity, donating spare books to people less fortunate than ourselves. Allison Duran and Maddie Cox tell us the story.
Some new libraries are popping up all around the McKinney area.
Free Little Library is around the corner from my house. I found it a couple weeks back when I was out running, and I just stopped because I didn't know what it was, and I opened it up and there was just a variety of different books, kids fiction, adult.
I actually noticed one going on the square in McKinney, and I was so excited to see it. I think they're fairly new in McKinney.
Students and administrators believe they bring many benefits to our community.
It was really interesting, cool to find. I hadn't really heard of the concept before, but I thought it was like a really cool, innovative idea to help bring literacy to neighborhoods and encourage reading.
It's a great place to take the books that you've read and turn them into a place where others can exchange books and encourage reading. And so the kids and adults actually that aren't close to a library, that's a place for them to go and find something to read.
To find a Little Free Library near you, be sure to go on littlefreelibrary.org. This has been Allison Duran, Maddie Cox, and Chelsea Villarreal reporting for MHS1.
Johnny Miller, Kylie Tauber, and Devin Field show us how to spot fake news.
People are impacted by the presence of fake news in everyday life.
A lot of my news, I get it from like social media or like articles from Google or something. I'll share an article if I think it's interesting or super controversial, or I want like other people to see it or my friends to see it. If something is fake, I can tell because like if the date is like super sketchy, or like if I like look in the comments, I can like see like people are like not agreeing with it.
Usually whenever I like see fake news or I get fake news, it's probably from like Twitter or social media. I mean, I usually like can tell when it's fake whenever the title is like so good to be true or like so crazy that it doesn't even make sense sometimes. We tend to believe like everything we see on social media and the internet because we're like so involved in it nowadays, so I think that's a big problem that people can't tell the difference or that we share it so much.
According to the Pew Research Center, more than 1 in 5 Americans have shared made-up news stories either knowingly or not.
More often than not, kids don't recognize the difference between a website that is designed to look like news and one that is actual news. There are some sources that can be relied upon based on the fact that they have been accurate in the past. For example, if you believe the New York Times usually reports the truth, then you might tend to believe the New York Times. But if you can't verify it with multiple news sources, you should probably question whether it's reliable or not.
Although fake news is a rising problem, there are ways to combat it.
It's called Flipboard. That's like my favorite news app. Oh, you just like, it tells you like categories you want to have news in, and I like click the categories I want to know and stuff like that, and it'll give you news all about it. It's like 100% real news, so.
This has been Johnny Miller, Kylie Tauber, and Devin Field reporting for MHS1.
It's that time of year again where we see the creativity of our seniors.
Nick Limbo and Andrew Watson show us the power of students' creativity in senior directs.
Throughout the year, students in the McKinney Golden Main Theater program are always working hard on their next show. However, one event sets itself apart from the others.
The Student Direct Festival is an event that we hold here at McKinney High every May. It's an opportunity for students that are in varsity theater to direct their own plays. And so we really start at the very beginning of the year talking about picking a play, and the students, some students write their own plays, but they get to pick a play, and we run it just like the UIL one-act play competition. And so we generally follow the same rules and time limits, and we hire a critic judge who's a teacher at another school to come and judge the contest. It's a chance for students to really be in control of an entire project from beginning to end.
Many students take the opportunity for a leadership position in directing their own play.
It gives us perspective on like how it feels to be a director and just the responsibility that comes with like being a director and being in like charge of a whole bunch of other people. A lot of our cast is underclassmen.
Yeah, they kind of learn like from what we were when we were given directions from the director of the theater department. Now we know how that goes.
I think my actors are perfect. I don't think I could change a single one. I think everyone who's in my play is in my play for a reason, and like they're the only people who could do these characters, and they set the tone. I feel like everybody in my play was perfect for that role.
The Student Direct Festival always brings together the program as a whole.
The program's really, just because I'm the director of the program, it's really not about me. It's about the students that are in it. And I think that it really helps them feel like they're a part of the department, they have ownership in a full production, and it's really a learning experience about leadership and about the way the process works. And just the feeling that everybody gets to watch each other's plays and be involved in multiple plays, I really feel like it's a great way to end the year.
The Student Direct Play Festival is Saturday, May 20th from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. This has been Andrew Watson and Nick Limbo reporting for MHS1.
The ability for students to express themselves using artwork and creative writing is an important aspect of our school.
Eric Boatman, Samantha Richards, and Angela Sinacor show us the beauty of the lost art.
The literary magazine has finished the 2016-2017 edition of The Lost Art, which comprises of all of the school's work throughout the year.
The LitMag is a student-run publication that comprises of students who applied and went through the application process, and it represents student artwork throughout MHS. Student writing, design, photo, and once the spring semester hit, every day we met Monday through Friday where we went out and recruited artwork, writing, and we laid out the process and created an actual magazine that went to the publisher already.
The students have set goals for this year's magazine in order to create their successful product.
So the magazine is an entire piece of art. It itself is art. The entire point is to celebrate the artworks within the student body, because one thing that McKinney High has a lot of is creative students, and that's one of the best things about McKinney High is there's so much talent here. It's not going anywhere because McKinney High doesn't really focus or have a place to concise all this talent. And so the LitMag, the point of it is to bring all of their talent together in one concise book. Really, what I'm wanting out of it and what Ms. Allen and the rest of the staff is wanting is for everyone to have a voice and everyone to have some creative outlet for their own creativity.
I think my favorite part is there's always a point in the process when we've collected all of this writing and all of this artwork and we've started to pair it together, and the students on the staff really take over and it just becomes their project. And Ms. Rutledge and I get to sit back and watch them work together and brainstorm and problem solve and figure this out with minimal support really from us. And it just becomes completely a student-run publication.
The Lost Art is set to be released in May for $20 or pre-order for $15. Literary Magazine is looking for applicants for next year's team.
We would love to have as many students on staff as possible, and they can be involved in multiple ways. If they want to just contribute pieces, they can do that throughout the year, and they don't really have to show up to any meetings. They just have to send in their writing or artwork or photography. If they want to be on staff, we have an application, and they can actually start applying in May for next year's staff, and then we'll hold interviews for editors and that kind of thing at the beginning of next year. And we meet once a week in the fall, and then that bumps up to multiple days a week in the spring.
This has been Eric Boatman, Samantha Richards, Angela Sinacor, and Mary Catherine Shapiro reporting for MHS1.
Now here's Johnny with sports.
Thanks, Alec.
The baseball team will play Flower Mound tonight and Prosper at 7:30 in their opening round of playoffs. Here's Devin Field with insight on how they're preparing for the road to state.
The Lions baseball team has had a great year so far, ending the district season with 9 wins and 5 losses. They hope to gain more wins in the postseason.
It's been a great year, great group of kids that, from day one they came out here believing in what we do, and I couldn't ask for a better group of kids to work with that know how to come out and compete every day.
Overall, it's awesome. Our team is great. The chemistry is amazing. It's just all together. The team is awesome.
Many factors are required to be a playoff caliber team. Being in a good district, Coach Price knew they could do it. They just had to play to the best of their ability.
Our philosophy coming in was, if you play baseball in the Metroplex, whether it's 5A or 6A, the competition is going to be quality. And we just had to step up the consistency in our game. We knew we had the ability. We just had to step up the consistency.
We had 8 returning starters from last year, so we already knew who kind of was going to be here. And we came out to play. We didn't come out to mess around.
Last Tuesday, the team beat Boyd with a score of 6-1.
Well, a lot of these players on this team have not beaten Boyd, so it's a great feeling. After the football season, we wanted to get some redemption.
The last time the Lions went to a playoff game was in 2015. Clinching a playoff spot this year, the Lions play in Prosper against Flower Mound at 7:30 on Friday night, as well as Saturday at 12 at Prosper as well.
Making playoffs freshman year as a freshman, it was a big deal, great experience, and I'm glad we can do it again this year.
Ready to finish the year strong and attack playoffs.
Blanchard Montgomery and AJ Johnson both competed in hurdles this past weekend in regionals. Congrats to them and the rest of the track team on a great season. Now back to y'all.
When you get started, you may not know where you're going or where your classes are.
Just keep going, keep your focus, and avoid the distractions.
At times, you may fall flat on your face, but technically, you're still moving forward.
You gotta pick yourself up, have fun, and do it all with a smile.
Believe in yourself. Do you really think anyone believed I'd be an MHS1 anchor?
Definitely not.
That was a rhetorical question, Alexander.
If you want to play basketball, play basketball.
If you want to be homecoming king, be homecoming king.
If you want to play the clarinet, maybe don't dress like this, but play the clarinet.
The point is, the year's coming to an end. You're not going to want to forget it.
Here's to the unexpected moments that brought us all together this year. Out of the Blue, the 2017 yearbook.
That's all we have for you today. Follow us on Twitter at Mainstream News. And remember,
if it's news
and it's at McKinney High School,
it's MHS1.